Statues of all U.S. presidents, a tribute to American leadership. Welcome to Real Persian Prints, where we explore the statues honoring all U.S. presidents and their enduring legacies. The United States, with its rich history and diverse culture, commemorates its presidents through statues scattered across the nation. These monuments, ranging from grand memorials to modest sculptures, honor the 45 individuals who have held the highest office, encapsulating their contributions and legacies. Here's a brief overview of statues dedicated to each president, capturing their essence and significance. Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe for more exciting content. 1. George Washington. As the first president and a key figure in the American Revolution, George Washington's statues are ubiquitous. The iconic Washington Monument in D.C. and statues in Mount Vernon, Virginia, celebrate his leadership and vision. 2. John Adams. The second president, John Adams, is honored in places like Quincy, Massachusetts, reflecting his role in the early republic. His statues emphasize his commitment to liberty and justice. 3. Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson, the third president and author of the Declaration of Independence, is memorialized with statues like the Jefferson Memorial in D.C., highlighting his intellect and contributions to American democracy. 4. James Madison. Known as the father of the Constitution, Madison's statues in Richmond, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. commemorate his role in crafting the nation's foundational document. 5. James Monroe. Monroe, the fifth president, is celebrated with statues in Virginia, emphasizing his presidency and the Monroe Doctrine, which opposed European colonialism in the Americas. 6. John Quincy Adams. The sixth president, John Quincy Adams, has statues in Boston that highlight his diplomatic achievements, including his role in negotiating the Treaty of Ghent. 7. Andrew Jackson. The seventh president is often depicted on horseback, reflecting his military leadership. Statues of Jackson in Nashville, Tennessee, and D.C. showcase his populist appeal and controversial policies. 8. Martin Van Buren. The eighth president, Van Buren, has statues in Conderhook, New York, his birthplace, celebrating his contributions to the American political party system. 9. William Henry Harrison. Harrison, the ninth president, is honored in Indianapolis, Indiana, with statues emphasizing his military service during the War of 1812. 10. John Tyler. The 10th president, Tyler, has statues in Richmond, Virginia, reflecting his efforts to expand U.S. territory and his complex legacy. 11. James K. Polk. Polk's statues, found in Nashville and Raleigh, highlight his presidency and territorial expansion through the annexation of Texas and the Oregon Treaty. 12. Zachary Taylor. The 12th president, Taylor, is commemorated with statues in Louisville, Kentucky, emphasizing his military service during the Mexican-American War. 13. Millard Fillmore. Fillmore, the 13th president, is honored in Buffalo, New York, with statues recognizing his efforts to preserve the Union. 14. Franklin Pierce. Pierce's statues in Concord, New Hampshire, reflect his presidency during a time of growing national tension over slavery. 15. James Buchanan. Buchanan, the 15th president, is memorialized in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, with statues emphasizing his attempts to prevent the Civil War. 16. Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln, the 16th president, is perhaps the most memorialized, with the Lincoln Memorial in D.C. and statues nationwide celebrating his leadership during the Civil War and his role in abolishing slavery. 17. Andrew Johnson. Johnson's statues in Greenville, Tennessee, commemorate his presidency during the Reconstruction era following Lincoln's assassination. 18. Ulysses S. Grant. The 18th president and Civil War general is honored with statues in D.C. and Galena, Illinois, highlighting his military and presidential achievements. 19. Rutherford B. Hayes. Hayes' statues in Fremont, Ohio, emphasize his efforts to reconcile the nation after the Civil War. 20. James A. Garfield. Garfield, the 20th president, is memorialized in Cleveland, Ohio, with statues reflecting his presidency and tragic assassination. 21. Chester A. Arthur. Arthur's statues in New York City commemorate his presidency and civil service reforms. 22. Grover Cleveland. Cleveland's statues in Buffalo and Princeton reflect his two non-consecutive terms as the 22nd and 24th president. 23. Benjamin Harrison. The 23rd president, Harrison, has statues in Indianapolis, highlighting his presidency and foreign policy initiatives. 24. William McKinley. McKinley's statues in Canton, Ohio, emphasize his presidency and leadership during the Spanish-American War. 25. Theodore Roosevelt. Roosevelt, the 26th president, is honored with statues like the Rough Rider Monument in San Antonio and the Equestrian Statue in New York City, capturing his adventurous spirit and progressive policies. 26. William Howard Taft. Taft's statues in Cincinnati reflect his presidency and contributions to American jurisprudence. 27. Woodrow Wilson. Wilson's statues in D.C. and Princeton highlight his leadership during World War I and his efforts to promote international cooperation. 28. Warren G. Harding. Harding's statues in Marion, Ohio, commemorate his presidency and his call for a return to normalcy post-World War I. 29. Calvin Coolidge. Coolidge's statues in Plymouth Notch, Vermont, emphasize his advocacy for limited government. 30. Herbert Hoover. Hoover's statues in West Branch, Iowa, reflect his presidency and efforts to combat the Great Depression. 31. Franklin D. Roosevelt. FDR, the 32nd president, is memorialized with statues like the FDR Memorial in D.C. and in Hyde Park, New York, highlighting his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. 32. Harry S. Truman. Truman's statues in Independence, Missouri, commemorate his presidency and his decision to use atomic bombs to end World War II. 33. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Eisenhower's statues in D.C. and Abilene, Kansas, honor his presidency and World War I leadership. 34. John F. Kennedy. JFK's statues in Dallas and other cities captured his charisma and leadership during the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Civil Rights Movement. 35. Lyndon B. Johnson. Johnson's statues in Austin, Texas and D.C. highlight his presidency and efforts to promote civil rights and social justice. 36. Richard Nixon. Nixon's statues in Yorba Linda, California, emphasize his foreign policy achievements, including opening relations with China. 37. Gerald Ford. Ford's statues in Grand Rapids, Michigan, commemorate his presidency and efforts to heal the nation post-Watergate. 38. Jimmy Carter. Carter's statues in Atlanta, Georgia, highlight his presidency and post-presidential humanitarian work. 39. Ronald Reagan. Reagan's statues in Simi Valley, California, and D.C. captured his role in ending the Cold War and promoting conservative values. 40. George H.W. Bush. Bush's statues in Houston and Kennebunkport emphasized his leadership during the end of the Cold War and the Gulf War. 41. Bill Clinton. Clinton's statues in Little Rock, Arkansas, highlight his presidency and efforts to promote economic prosperity. 42. George W. Bush. Bush's statues in Dallas and D.C. commemorate his presidency and leadership during 9/11. 43. Barack Obama. Obama's statues, including those in Chicago, reflect his historic presidency as the first African-American president and his message of hope and change. 44. Donald Trump. Trump's statues, found in places like Palm Beach, Florida, and his golf clubs, highlight his impact on American politics. 45. Joe Biden. As the current president, Joe Biden's statues are fewer, but will likely increase, reflecting his leadership and ongoing contributions. These statues collectively serve as a testament to the enduring legacies of U.S. presidents, capturing their pivotal roles in shaping the nation's history. Each monument, whether grand or modest, stands as a reminder of the unique contributions and challenges faced by these leaders, preserving their stories for future generations. If you find our videos helpful, don't forget to share, subscribe, and hit the like button to support our channel.